Hi Rio Grande students, it's time to go over our solutions for our DMA. So we are going to do, it's week 2, day 4. So you'll notice I have day 4 over here. And our first question has to do with a bar graph. So you will notice that my bar graph starts with 0, but after that it goes to 7. And this little squiggly line means that they're skipping an interval here. They're not going directly by ones. So it just gives them a little bit more room to work with when they're doing the intervals on the scale. So our question asks us, how many books did Brad, April, and Travis read all together? And so that "and" is helping us to understand that we're going to add those together. So we notice that Brad has 12 books. And we're going to label that with a B in our equation. We know that April has 8 books. And we're going to label that with an A for April so that we can keep track of who we're adding the books for. And then we have Travis. And Travis is going to have 15 books. And we're wanting to find in our, as our answer, or sum, in this case, we call it addition sentence sum, we're going to want to find total books. So, total books. So, if you don't have enough room to show your work, you may always use the back page where you can show under day 3, you can have enough room to show your work. So we had 12 books, 8 books, and 15 books. Now quickly in my mind, I can definitely say that that's going to be 20 because 10 and 10 makes 20. And my 2 and my 8 makes another 10. And then I have 5 more. So now I can say 20 and 10 and 5 is going to give me 35 total books. So now I can go back to my front, complete my equation here for total books. I can complete my equation, zoom in, and now I can finish that up with my sum. Now, our next equation is a subtraction symbol. So I'm going to use my break apart strategy, and I'm going to say 80 minus 30. Remember, this is our total. This is our total number or total amount. This is part that we're subtracting from this total, and we should find a missing part or another part. So when we are going to check this, we would add these two parts to make sure that they add up to the total. So 80 minus 30 would give us 50. Then we have our ones, so we have 8 ones minus 2 ones, and we're going to subtract those, and that would be 6. And then when we put those together, we have, oh yes, that's right. We had 6, and that makes 56. Another way to think about this is take 88, subtract the 30, which would be 58. That's my partial difference. I'm not done yet. So I take the 58, and then I subtract these 2 more to make 32. And then I subtract and find my difference. My difference is going to be 56. What units would you measure the length of a wall? Now, you can measure the length of a wall in any of these units of measurement, but they're wanting you to think about which one is going to be the easiest and most efficient way. Well, we wouldn't probably want to measure in inches or centimeters because those are such tiny units of measurement. So the best way to measure a length of a wall would probably be in yards. And if anybody of you has seen a yardstick, it's 3 feet. So 3 feet in a yard, if that helps you. So I'd have 3 rulers that would make a yardstick. Okay, now let's talk about rounding. So this is kind of like what our topic is today in our lesson. So we want to think about 25 and which 10 does 25 round closest to. So if I think about a number line, I know that 25 is between 20 and 30. Where is it on that number line? Would be right in the middle. Now, since it's right in the middle, it's not really closer to either one of these 10s. It's right in the middle. It's 5 away from 20 and it's 5 away from 30. So the rule is when it's right in between our 10s and the 1's digit is a 5, the rule is we're going to round up. We're going to round up to 30. Now, when we think about 48, I know that the 2 10s that 48 comes between is 40 and 50. 45 is right in the middle. 48 would be right about there or about there. And so when I think about how far 48 is from 50, it's 2 away from 50, but it's 8 away from 40. So we would round 48 to 50 because it's closer. And then for rounding 51, we know it's between 50 and 60. 55, of course, is in the middle. 51 would be right here on our number line. And so it's 1 away from 50, but it's 9 away from 60. So looking at our 1's place, it's not past the 5 in 55. So we're going to round down to 50. And so if you notice, 48 rounds to 50, but also 51 rounds to 50. So if we were going to say what numbers would round to 50, we could say 46, 47, 40, 48, 49. 50, of course, is an even 50. 51, 52, 53, and 54. Now, once we get to 55, then that's going to automatically round to 60. So just something to think about. There's more numbers to think about when you're rounding to the closest 10. They're not always going to be whatever that 10 happens to, what happens to be in that 10's place. So just something to think about. We'll have a DMA on Monday of next week, which would be week 3. And so for this week, we're done with our DMA. So we will see you next week for DMA Solutions.